Hello friends, and welcome back to Handmade and Hallmark. I'm Mandy here. We are on card 14 of my Christmas series. Today I want to share with you how I created this really sweet scene using some adorable products from Hello Bluebird. I combined several of their stamp sets together to create this really cute window scene card that has another little surprise which I'll share with you as we get into the card. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So I'm going to be using, like I mentioned, several stamp sets from Hello Bluebird. I'm going to be using Deck the Halls. This one came out last year, I believe. Super sweet card. We also have Trim the Tree, which came out this year in their release. And then we're also going to be using Oh Christmas Tree. These are some of my favorites, and I think all of the images go really, really great together. I'm going to start out with doing a little bit of kind of prep work for my scene. I have a piece of wood grain cardstock here. I believe this one is from Simon. And I'm just going to ink blend over top of it just so I can have like a nice floor. It's kind of what I'm going for here. And you could easily just use like a brown piece of paper or some pattern paper. I didn't have a pattern paper that I particularly liked. All of the patterns were a little bit too large for the images, so I just decided to do the ink blending on this wood grain cardstock, and I think it looks really great. I really like this cardstock. Sometimes I forget that I have it, so whenever I do find it, I'm like, oh, I need to make sure I use this because it's a really nice cardstock, really nice weight. I'm just gonna ink blend that with some Distress Oxide inks. And I'm going to do just a little bit of splattering here just to kind of make it look like a nice worn floor. Again, you could leave this step out. This video is quite a bit longer than my other videos. I left in all of the coloring. The coloring took me quite a while. I worked on this card actually over quite a few days, working, in between family and, jobs and all that kind of thing. When I had a spare minute, I would go in and color a couple of images, but I really like the end product. So I'm going to get right into the coloring. All of the colors will be shown on the screen that I used here, put on some music, and when we're all finished up, we'll come back and finish up together.
I'm out of place in a sea full of smiles, walking down Main Street tonight. Got a lot on my mind since you walked out and said, Merry Christmas, babe, give me some time. Holidays are coming and there's no way around. Better join in the holiday crowd while I'm struggling to find some peace of mind. Merry Christmas, babe, hope you're alright. When you're not here to walk with me, it all seems like a waste. So tell me tonight, won't you come home? These are the days you shouldn't be alone. And if tonight you've got no plans, bring the miracle back home around, 'cause I need it in this part of town. 6:15 and you're still on my mind, while an old man sings Oh Holy Night. Yeah, the streets might be full, but I'm empty inside. Merry Christmas, baby, wish you were mine. When you're not here to walk with me, which makes it all seem great. So tell me tonight, won't you come home? These are the days you shouldn't be alone. And if tonight you've got no plans, bring the miracle back home around, 'cause I need it in this part of town. I don't need anything, yes, I got everything. I should be
and the snow keeps falling down. Lit a fire and looked down on the avenue. I just love the way you carry the ground. It's just me and you tonight, and I'm all yours. We'll be in our happy place. This December will be the best, I'm pretty sure. And I am truly yours in every way. So hold me now, it's Christmas time. Bring joy to people in this town. In this way we make the world go round. In December I just let the peace take over. That is what I want. Just a few blocks from you now, I wanna drive. And the snow keeps falling down. Let this Christmas be the best we've ever had. Under a starlit sky, we'll walk around. It's just me tonight, and I'm all yours. We'll be in our happy place. This December will be the best, I'm pretty sure. And I'm truly yours in every way. So just hold me now, it's Christmas time.
Who would have thought that Christmas could bring tears to my eyes? Don't get me wrong, still enjoyful times. We're gonna sing this song. Look at the snow, it's Christmas. there's our mistletoe. Among all the gifts and all the Christmas cards, I think of you, don't forget. I ring a bell for those who have nothing, so lend a helping hand. And if you do the very best you can, it won't be hard to understand. And that's how we know it's Christmas for every girl and boy. And you can be sure it's tears of joy. Happy Christmas to you. It's Christmas for every girl and boy, and you can be sure it's tears of joy. Happy Christmas, happy Christmas, happy Christmas, happy Christmas to you.
Everything glistens and everything's bright. Everyone's happy and spirits are light. I am sitting here thinking, alone with my drink, as I do this time of the year. Do you remember when love was around, when we were aglow, the talk of the town? When I'm sitting here drinking, I can't help but think about you, about us, as I do this time of the year. I remember me being with you. Was that just a dream that never came true? I am sitting here sinking, drink after drink, as I do this time of the year. So easily strays. I thought I was trying to forget you. I must have forgotten. I am lost in my memories, pouring the hours away. Say, do you remember we used to be near?
Once I had all of that coloring finished, I've got two card bases here. I've got them both cut to top folding A2 sized card bases, and what I'm doing here is I'm creating a trifold card. And here I'm going to show you how I put it all together here in just a minute, but I wanted to cut the window out of the front panel here, and I have everything labeled as to which is which. And I'm just using a waffle flower die here to cut out this panel, and this is going to be the actual window portion. So you can see here that I've got that cut out, and I'm going to create the window plastic portion. So I'm just using some Judikins embossable window plastic here. You could use anything, acetate, you know, anything like that. This is just what I have on hand, and I'm going to get the snow on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink blending tool here, and I'm going to take some of my white gouache. This is some white gouache from Winsor & Newton, and I'm going to kind of pounce it around the edge of the panel to create that snow look. And using the foam tool really kind of helps get that kind of frosty look. Now, I think I probably would have had a better application if I had maybe watered the gouache down just a little bit. It might have gone on a little bit smoother. I didn't really have a big issue with it going on. I think it looks great. I really like the effect that it gives. I had seen another crafter do this on YouTube. I believe it was Maureen Simon. I'm not sure if I said her name right, but I saw her do something similar to this in a card that she created, and I really, really like the idea, so I want to give her the credit for that, but I wanted to try out the technique myself. Just going around with that white gouache and blending it all around, and once I have the desired look, I do plan on trimming this panel down a little bit later, so I wanted to make sure I had enough around the edges, so that it'll fit in our little window panel. Once I get all that blended, I'm going to take my little paintbrush, and I'm going to water that gouache down, and I'm going to flick some snowflakes on the actual panel, so it really looks like you're looking through a window when it's all snowy outside. So that was kind of the idea that I was going for. And once I had enough snowflakes on there, I didn't want to put too many on because I didn't want to kind of hide the scene that's going on the inside of the card, but I wanted to have enough to make it really look like it's, you know, a frosty day outside. Get that all blended and get that set off to the side to dry. It doesn't really take too long, but I wanted to give it a nice long while to dry. So here's my two panels here. You can see that I've got them kind of lined up here, and I'm just kind of flipping one all the way around to fit inside of the other one. Now I did have to trim just a hair off of the one that goes on the inside, just so that the top would fold really nicely. And we're going to attach all of our actual scene to the inside flap as well. So whenever you open the card, it'll kind of fold down. So the window frame will fold up, and the little scene will fold down to reveal a space for the greeting and a nice message. So that's kind of the idea I was going for. This pattern paper, I found it in my stash. I'm not really sure which company it comes from. I think it might be Lawn Fawn. I'm not really sure. I was going through looking for something, and I saw this, and it was just kind of loose in there, so I decided to use it. Again, I'm not sure which company it comes from, but you could use any pattern paper that you like. Gonna adhere our wood grain piece here. I wanted to make sure it was nice and even along the bottom, and it turned out just great. If you hear any whining or fussing, Brant is next to me, and he's upset that I'm not petting him. He wants me to pet him the whole time that I'm doing my voiceover here, and he's getting pretty upset at me. So if you hear some whining and fussing, that's just him annoyed with me because I'm not paying him any attention. You can kind of see where I'm going with our little scene here. I'm just going to go through and start adhering everything. I wanted to get the tree decorated, and get it adhered flat. I'm going to have a few items kind of popped up. I didn't want to have too much dimension because this card is going to be a little bit thicker than normal just because it is a trifold card. It'll still probably go through the post. I would probably pay for the extra postage just so it didn't go through the machine and, you know, kind of mess anything up or catch or anything like that. Or you could put it in a bubble mailer. Either way, I wouldn't send it through the mail without any kind of extra postage or extra protection, just because it is a little bit thicker. And just using some of Barely Arts adhesive to attach everything. Nothing spectacular going on here, just going through and adhering everything. So while that's going on, I wanted to kind of update you guys on my design team news. I have actually been offered to join another design team. I applied for it, and I can't wait to share with you guys all the information I have for that. A really great new company. I'm super excited to work with them. Really great products, adorable images and such. So once I get all of my information ready to go with that, I'll be ready to share all of that at the beginning of the new year. So I'll be working with them beginning in January and ending in June. Hopefully it won't end. I'll be able to extend, but we'll see how it goes. But I just wanted to share with you guys that news, that I have another design team that I'm joining, and I'm super excited for that. Again, really great companies, super sweet people, and I can't wait to get started. Again, going along here, just adding all of our little images. I colored a few images off screen here. After I went through and added all of these, I felt like the bottom was really busy, but the top was kind of blank. So I just went in and I colored some Christmas lights, a clock, and some other little images. All of these images come from the same stamp sets that I used here. The string of lights comes from the, I think, Deck the Tree. The clock and the holly comes from the Deck the Hall set. So I wanted to add just a little bit more going on up top here, just because it felt a little bit too blank. I adhered the lights to the top of the little scene here. They're a little crooked and haphazard, but I felt, you know, like animals hanging up Christmas lights, and, you know, I don't think it's going to be perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect. So, but I like the way that it looks. I'm going to pop that little clock up just to add a little bit of dimension. Adhere one of the little hollies down nice and flat, just to give a little bit of dimension. Like I mentioned, I don't want to have a ton, just to add a little bit of interest, and we'll get that all adhered. I hope you guys are enjoying the season. I know we're into December already. The kids are, raring to go at school. Their little elf has returned, so they're really enjoying that. We've got bacon going on. I made a pile of cookies yesterday, and the kids were really thrilled about that. And I just love this time of year because I really like to bake and, give gifts of a sweet joy as well as a card to somebody, because it's a lot of fun for me. Next, I'm going to go around with my white Jelly Roll pen, and I'm going to add some highlights to all of these little images. I don't follow any kind of, lighting rules. I just kind of go where I think it looks nice. Adds lots of interest to the characters. I especially like doing this with kind of these kind of cute cartoony characters. I really think it makes them shine, makes them stand out, gives them lots of character. Just going to go through and add that white gel pen. And I love this little squirrel. I really think he's one of my favorites. He just looks so enamored by what's going on. And the little bunny in his little footy pajamas. Thought that was super sweet too. Get all that done, and we'll move on to assembly of the rest of the card. Once I had all of that white gel pen done, I wanted to add my greetings. So on the very inside of the card, which is going to be the inside of the panel that we just decorated, I'm going to stamp a greeting from one of the other stamp sets. I'm not sure which one I grabbed from. I was deciding whether or not I wanted to add another critter image in here, but I felt like I just wanted to leave just a nice simple greeting in here, and I can write another message a little bit down at the bottom. So I just used some Simon Says Intense black ink to stamp that down, and I'm going to stamp my next greeting, and this one is going to go on the outside of the card onto the window frame. It is from the Deck the Tree, or Oh Christmas Tree, excuse me, Oh Christmas Tree set, and it says Deck the Halls, and I'm just stamping it on some Schoolhouse red cardstock and using some clear ink from Simon Says. I'm also going to be using my Brutus Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder to heat emboss this sweet image. I really wanted to add a little pop of red on the outside of the card. I have quite a bit of red on the inside of the card, but I felt like adding a little bit of red on the outside will really make the images kind of pop a little bit more and make that snow stand out really nicely. Get my heat gun going. We'll get that heated up and melted, and I'm just going to trim that out with my scissors. And we'll get ready to get everything assembled. I am going to take the window sheet here that I have nice and dry, and I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I've got some frames here. These are from Fawn, part of their, I think it's their large frame set. I'll make sure that it's linked below. And I'm just using my paper trimmer here. I was super excited to get this little mini paper trimmer from Tim Holtz when it came out. I am in love with this thing. I use it all the time now, you know, when I don't have to get my big trimmer out. This one is so much more convenient, and it works beautifully. It trims really, really nice, and it stores even better because it's nice and small. Once I get that little window frame trimmed out, I'm just going to use some score tape. You could easily use liquid glue or tape runner here, but I didn't want to have anything kind of ooze out anywhere or, you know, have anything kind of stick out. So I decided to use this score tape. Again, you could use whatever you like, but I really like the score tape because it's nice and strong and it fits perfectly on these little frames. I'll get that all attached here. Peel off all of that adhesive, and we'll get our window plastic adhered as well. And I have a second frame cut out because I wanted to place it on the inside of the card just so you didn't see all of that other adhesive kind of on the back of it. I probably could have left it be. You don't really notice it too much because it is white on white. That's just me kind of being a little bit picky with it. But again, you could easily leave that out. And to attach our window frame here, I'm going to use that same score tape because it fits perfectly around this little frame. I probably, if I do this card again, I probably wouldn't do such thin frames on this. Maybe do like an actual, like an oval or something along those lines, just because it's a little flimsy to work with. In the end, the card is actually very sturdy because it has all of that other cardstock kind of around the frame to help support it. But just because it was a little bit flimsy and I was really afraid of tearing it. But like I mentioned, it's pretty sturdy. It holds up really, really nice, and it kind of stands up on its own, so it works out great. I'm going to get that window frame adhered to the front here, and you can see kind of where we're going with that. And you could easily just not make it a trifold card and put your scene on the inside, and maybe just leave yourself a little space at the bottom to kind of leave a greeting, which would be wonderful too. It kind of save you another step. But I really like the idea of doing a trifold card. I did one a few years ago. I'm not really super into like the interactive cards. I really like doing them because I really want to try them out, but I always mess them up. But I really wanted to try this one out because it wasn't too involved, you know, just adding two card bases together, and it works out great. And that will finish up this card. I'm just going to attach our greeting to the front, and that will finish it up. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this card as much as I did creating it. It was a labor of love doing all of that coloring, but the end result, I think, is just adorable. I love the idea of, you know, looking through a little window frame here, and you see all the critters getting ready for the holidays. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!
On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.